This is Spare Parts, your show for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Stephen Cleary, Sean Cavarella, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Welcome to this week's episode of Spare Parts. I am your host, Sean.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Taylor.
And, yeah, I'll be honest, I got no notes this week, Steven and Taylor. I did not watch anything. I saw like two things on the Twitters. And,
You're welcome.
yeah, so Steven, you're going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting this episode.
Shit, I haven't worked out in weeks, so.
Oh, that's obvious.
Oh, yeah.
So
There's a solid gut there.
Yeah, the camera doesn't go that low, but we all know it's there.
There's a reason.
Coward.
It doesn't go that low.
Strategic placement.
I mean, that's right. It's just wears the baggy clothing, you know? Can't really tell.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's okay.
So, yeah. How'd you guys do the last week? Did you have a good week? Everyone doing well?
Yeah, it's been good.
No.
You want to talk about your sports team losing again?
Sucking? No.
No, I don't want to talk about this.
Okay. It's fine.
No, we're not talking about this.
I made money off it. That's fine.
Yeah, you always bet against your team. That way you're happy no matter what.
That's fair. You know what?
I'm playing both sides.
Toronto is a good team to bet against, unfortunately.
If they're ever the favorite, bet against them. It's just how it is.
Yeah.
So
it's free
annoying.
money. Or no, it's free real estate.
So, yeah. I had a great weekend. I was at a cottage. I spent most of my weekend on a beach. So
great weekend.
Nice.
Or golfing.
Finally,
so, yeah, I didn't see any racing.
Well, it was a good weekend to be on a beach. That is for sure.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Yeah, we didn't. I mean, there wasn't a lot of no F1 this week.
That's
but
your
we did
bread and
have
butter.
Indy. My bread and butter. I missed it this weekend, but I didn't fully watch Indy, but I did watch the highlights.
There was a lot. There was a lot.
There
of
was
highlights.
a lot
Very tired by the
happened.
end of that race. Very tired.
Mm-hmm.
So
A lot in wet and
frustrating.
dry conditions. Back
So-
to wet.
Let's start with talking about Indy, I guess.
Yeah.
So, Stephen, take it away.
Recap.
We'll start by talking about it, but we didn't see it. So, Stephen, you got to cover here.
Yeah. No, it was the race day was a very mixed bag, and it made for a lot of fun because this is really the first wet race we've ever had with the aero screens, and the results were not bad, I guess.
Well, post race, people had some things to say.
Post race, yes, but no one crashed
Badly.
because of lack of visibility.
Mhm.
Thank
That's
you,
fair.
spotters.
That's fair.
So yeah, no, it was a fun race, a lot going on. We got possibly the save of the year from Colton Herta.
Right.
Like, just you can rename him Ninja Number 2 now, but like with how quick those hands were working, it was insane. It was fun to watch. And what else? What else happened that race?
Herta saved it. Weird tire strategy.
Well, I was gonna say the weather messed with everyone's tire strategy. There was a mix between people going out. You had Alex Rossi gambling and trying to get ahead of the weather, and then, by putting on the wets, and it just never showed up. And him and I can't remember who else was sitting there just saying, "We need water. We need water," and then it just never came. 5 laps later, after they've all swapped, it finally showed up.
That is.
But
how do you not see that?
It's
Have
terrible luck.
someone like
well,
on a
no,
weather
but here's the
app.
thing. No. They read the weather map fine. It was just the rain was only along the front straight across the start and finish. So the rest of so down there, you just brake a little earlier going into one, and you're good. Don't accelerate too much out of the last corner. You're fine.
Yeah.
The rest of the track, you're losing a ton of time through the corners with the wet tires.
Because the rain tires are only important through the corners. You can still go on the straight and slicks in theory.
Yep.
But you're not going to slide in the corners, so that's
Hope you don't hydroplane.
I mean,
but yeah, it was a calculated risk, but the math did not work out in their favor this time.
So was all the teams that like stuck on the slick strategy just had giant fans porting them to the sky, like away from the track out of turn or the front straightaway?
Yeah, I guess.
So like they just couldn't get the rain?
Yeah. Just no, we don't want it. And then finally it came, and then that led to more interesting tire decisions because Pato O'Ward looked like he could possibly win it, and he stayed out on slicks.
Everyone went to slicks.
Well, no. I'm talking about everyone went to slicks.
I see what you're talking about now. Okay.
It was wet on the front straight, so everyone stayed on slicks after one caution. They go through. It starts to rain really bad. Get another caution. I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been. No, it wasn't Palou. Who was it? I can't remember. But anyways, after that, there was another caution, and O'Ward was in front. And he basically said, I'm going to do the slicks. And Herta probably got the call to just do the opposite. And just said, yeah, let's gamble on it. Everybody came in, swapped it out. I think it was O'Ward, Grosjean, and one other person stayed out on slicks. And they all ended up having to come in after. Grosjean ran wide. Pato and two others, I think, spun under the safety car on slicks.
Huh.
It was McLaughlin spun from the lead on slicks. It was
under the safety car, wasn't it?
Under the safety car, yeah.
Which
there was a couple.
Right.
The race had a new record for passing.
Oh, wow.
In theory.
It's not really a surprise.
Yeah, and the total passes in the race, I saw this, Marshall Pruitt tweeted it, 471.
Jeez.
The previous record was 269.
Oh my gosh.
Well, there was lots of passes with those
no
spins
one?
under yellow.
Oh, you all suck.
What?
It was 269.
Oh, nice.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, with spins under yellow and then passing back and then...
Yeah, guys just dropping through the field and then... Yeah. One guy spins under yellow and all of a sudden it's 20 free passes.
Yep.
So... Yep. Makes sense. So, and then also the pit screwiness at the end and stuff. And
yeah. It was a day.
It was anyone's race, really, at multiple points. Like, I saw, like, the last 10 laps of it, and I was like, wow, I don't know who'll win this. Whoever makes the correct strategy call will win this. They all decided to make the exact same strategy call.
Yep.
And
if we're all going to be screwed, we're all going to be screwed together.
And Herta is just fast, and Herta won.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, good for him. Like, Herta...
Oh my god, get that out of here. With the big Chungus fucking shirt.
You don't like big Chungus with the victory tacos?
Love it.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, like, that save became a race-winning save.
Yes.
He also got really lucky on that save.
He did.
It was a little dry patch he hit that corrected him.
Yep. If you go back and watch the entire outlap that he did, it was
amazing.
It was sketchy. It was amazing, but very sketchy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, it just shows the talent that Herta has, though, right? In those conditions and stuff, and to be that quick on the edge of control. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what everyone wants to see out of their drivers, right? They always want to see the fastest guys on the edge of control.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we knew, like, I think we always knew that Herta was capable of it. He's just had an incredibly unlucky or bad streak with pushing it a little bit too far in the moments where he could have held back, right?
On the edge of control.
Exactly.
Sometimes it goes one way, sometimes the other.
Yeah.
And I think he was very much overdue for a time that it actually went his way. So it's really good to see him have this and for him to actually come, like, win it. I thought he deserved it. He did a really great job. He had a really great drive, so good for him.
Oh, and you
Finally Herta.
mentioned Will Power on the pole.
Yep.
What's he, like 3 away from Andretti's record? Something like that.
I didn't even realize he was that close. Jesus.
Yeah,
Wow.
he is getting close to the all-time record of pole positions in IndyCar.
Wow. Good for him. He'll probably get it, I would think. Maybe.
Googling Will Power is a terrible idea. Just realize that.
Yep.
You don't
How to
get
increase
what
your
you're looking for.
willpower.
You need to be more specific.
I know.
Just
Oh, yeah.
Google willpower Toowoomba, mostly because it's just fun to say.
You should move there, Steve.
What?
You really should. Toowoomba's where he's
Why?
from.
Why would I move to Toowoomba?
I don't know. Get you out of my hair.
Toowoomba? Where is Toowoomba?
Where's Will Power from?
Australia?
Damn it, Steve.
I have no idea. It sounded like an Australian place.
Yeah,
It
he's
is Australia?
Yes.
Of
it is.
course. Okay, I did not know that Will Power was Australian. Good to know. We learn new things every day.
It's okay. You get a pass. It's fine.
Thank you. I'm still learning here.
We need to have the ditzy one for the show content.
I'm
There you go.
okay. Rude.
Okay.
And here I was thinking I was the pretty face of this podcast, but all right.
No, that's Steven.
Okay, whatever, fine.
Anyway, so should we talk about some of the thoughts of the race and what we thought of the aero screen in the wet and what some drivers had to say?
Go for it, because I didn't see.
Some
any
seemed
of the
Yeah.
drivers.
pretty unhappy with it.
Okay.
Complained that water didn't really come off it that easy. I can't remember who it was. Someone called for the inclusion of maybe a wiper on it for the rain.
Okay, and these are drivers talking about like the conditions.
Yeah.
I didn't see any of this, but okay, so they're complaining about the visibility of it, like they just can't see.
Yeah, it's just because with the spray down the straight, you're gonna get
Right.
basically water everywhere, and it's gonna hit your screen.
You get the
and-
roosters.
Yeah. To be fair, this is an issue with every single open wheel car when it comes to driving in the rain, and even non open wheel
Right.
cars. Like when you're in the rain, you're gonna have spray. That's just, and the further you're back in the field, the worse it is. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I mean, visibility is naturally bad in the rain anyway, so I think it's hard for them to engineer something that's going to be perfect in wet conditions. It's difficult. Like they're just difficult conditions to race in, period. No matter what you have to try and help you, it's just you can't see shit when there's spray all over.
Yeah. And I saw some people being like, well, should they even have raced in these conditions? Thoughts on
Well,
that?
we did get it. I was gonna say we did get an hour delay almost. 45, 50-minute delay from the start time.
Didn't they move the start time up, I thought? I thought it was moved
No.
up to start earlier because of the rain.
Don't think so.
Okay. I may be
Because
misremembering.
the broadcast started at 3:30, I think, or 3.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, it started at 3 and the race didn't go until 1:45,
Okay.
I think, 1:45,
So
something like
here's Connor Daly's thoughts on the screen. I found it. He said like the water stayed in the center. It didn't move off the side. I guess the pressure was stronger right in the center, so it didn't move it. So, yeah, there might be a slight issue there. But
Well, it's something like again, like it's something that they have to note, and maybe they can try and do better or fix whatever the biggest issues are with it. But at the end of the day, I don't think the drivers will ever have something that's like completely perfect for them. Like they can try their best to get it as close to perfection as possible, but rain is just really difficult no matter what you do to just drive in, period, right? Like I don't know.
yeah, agreed.
I feel like I don't know, like to a degree I understand what they're saying, and like yeah, visibility is really important, and of course like safety in those conditions is important too. It's just you start to wonder like how many of these complaints are because like, well, you know, like it was crappy weather. Yeah, you didn't win. It was crappy weather. Maybe you didn't do as well as you'd hoped.
Like, okay, so every driver says they love racing in the rain because, oh, it's the great equalizer, and, you know, I can really show what I have. Fans love the rain racing because it really shows which driver is in control and is the fastest in the toughest conditions you can race in. Again, every driver says, yes, I like racing in the rain. It's never the winner that says, you know, I don't know if these conditions were right for this or something like that. It's always the guys who finish further back who are just like,
exactly.
You know, yeah, just wasn't our day today. It wasn't my fault that I didn't do well. It was the conditions.
It was the conditions. The conditions were too poor, you know, and like the questions start coming of, well, should we even have raced in these conditions? Like, I don't think, like, there's a safety body for a reason, and people make those calls all the time. Like, races have gotten canceled because of rain. If the conditions aren't really that bad to cancel the race, I really don't think that there's actually a question as to whether or not you should have raced or not.
The only time I've seen rain so bad they actually postponed the race live was when in Toronto, when the freaking pace car spun under the rain. That's when you know it's bad.
Yeah.
But, like, I didn't think that Indianapolis this weekend was terrible rain. It was changeable conditions. Maybe IndyCar needs, like, a better rain tire. But I didn't think it was that big of an issue. It's always going to be problems on restarts because, you know, just the nature of the spray and stuff. But maybe if that's looking like an issue, change your safety car procedure in the rain, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe go to maybe a virtual safety car or something like that to keep people gapped. Just an idea. But I really don't see that big of an issue with it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Steven stares longingly in the distance, not contributing to the conversation. Steven, do you agree with this? Are you gonna pipe up?
No, I'm good.
Okay, that's fine.
No.
Like, you watched more than we did. We only saw bits and pieces, so.
Yeah, so... it's probably, again, this was the first real test of the aero screen, so I'm sure IndyCar can take the notes that they got from the drivers and try and find improvements on, or I don't know, just any sort of solution that they can try and think of and implement it for the next rain race. Problem is, we don't know when that's going to be. So windshield wiper, I don't know how long it'll take to develop that, but you don't know when it's going to be needed. It might be needed. What's the next road course race?
Good question.
Anything that's non-oval. The next, it's Detroit. So are we going to need it by June 5th? I don't know. It's probably not the hardest thing, but like
historically they have had rain a few times.
Yeah, but how quickly do you want something implemented? Do you want it? We need it for June 5th in Detroit.
That's fair.
No questions asked. Okay, we'll put something together quickly and see what we can do. Or we'll find a Band-Aid solution and slowly work our way up.
Yeah.
Like, just take the best they can do is take the notes that they got, try and replicate conditions, and test it out in a lab. But until you actually see it on track, you won't know if your new solution works or not. And again, we've had one actual race in the rain to try it out. So
there's been other sessions.
Other sessions. It's still not race conditions.
Yeah, so. And the spray is always worst in the pack, right?
Yeah,
right.
As soon as you get to a restart, which you probably do, because hey, the track's wet and it's not as easy to drive, or push the limits of the car, which you're going to be doing in a race. So, like, they can probably come up with some sort of easy solution for June 5th in case they need it, and. You know, the hope is always you won't, but again, we've had one test. They got some notes now. They got some data. Try out some solutions in the lab. Bring it out June 5th in case you need it.
Fair enough.
Or you can always, Or, you can always just throw the sprinklers on.
Okay.
Have them race around Detroit.
Okay, Bernie Ecclestone, fuck off with that. That was literally his idea. He wanted random sprinklers to go off, okay?
Yeah. That's safe, right? Hey, we're just going to throw the sprinklers on at some point in the race. You won't know when it happens.
I would say one performance I thought someone who did pretty well for this race, for their career so far in IndyCar. Tatiana Calderon. Didn't finish last, finally. Or at least last, 5. She finished 15th.
Led a couple laps.
Led one lap.
But... was it? I thought
still
it was
counts.
More than that, but still counts, yeah. Yeah, that was a good showing for her. She ended up, 15th?
I just said 15th, yeah. That's what I just said.
I don't pay attention to what you say.
Yeah, that really helps with, having a conversation here. Really, what we're trying to do. Just, have a podcast, talk, and discourse, and provide entertainment.
Tisk, Steven.
Yeah. But no, there was an outside chance she could get a little higher up in the standings as well. Just didn't quite get the breaks.
And Calamylot finally did good too. He got top 10.
Yeah, Islet and Lingard.
Yeah.
Though their ending to the race wasn't quite so good.
Fair enough.
They crashed coming over the line.
Yes, they did. They hit each other.
So.
But we're just not going to talk about that.
Visibility,
visibility.
Yeah. Well, visibility behind a safety car. Yeah, real tough. But no, someone was like, why did they just go green, checkered, yellow, checkered? Then it cuts to Christian Lundgaard in the wall. It's like, how the fuck did you end up there?
That is a new
And
one.
also, at least you got past the line. That's the important part.
It would have sucked if it was right before the line.
Oh, yeah.
Well. So they made it. Anything else to add?
The only other thing is pre-race. We got some more thoughts. And by more thoughts, I mean, they basically just said the same things of Grosjean and Rahal.
We're still
Grosjean basically mostly just this is the first sort of sound bites we've had from him in 2 weeks. Grosjean basically said, I tried to apologize. It was a very one-way conversation, him to me. But I don't care. And Rahal still being like, yeah, the guy's an idiot. Whatever. So, and then later on in the race, Grosjean had wheel-to-wheel contact with Jack Harvey, I think it was. One of the Meyer Shanks. And he basically Harvey's like, no, I'm not leaving you any room. I know you're not going to leave me any room. So
hard racing.
Grosjean got
It's hard racing.
Grosjean got punted into the grass, and he was like, oh, what an idiot. So
takes one to know one. I don't know.
Well, it's always when I do it, it's hard racing. When someone else does it, they're an idiot.
Exactly. That is motorsport.
No, that's always. Yeah.
When Sean ignores me, it's fine. When I ignore him, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, I'm the main character of my own story. Therefore, you cater to me. That is the most This is the most dickish things I've ever said, and I feel terrible just uttering those words.
And this is why I just went back to scrolling around at my other stuff.
Okay.
Kansas. NASCAR at Kansas this weekend.
That was a fun ending, and I think one of the better paint schemes that they've pulled out won the race. Just saying. Don't know if either of you saw it.
I did not, actually. The 45?
No.
The 45 decided to go with an Air Jordan paint scheme.
Oh, yes, I did see that.
Oh, cool.
That was
it looked
a
good,
one.
and I'm glad that it won.
Yeah. I'm also really glad it won.
Yeah.
Who put money on it?
Yeah, I picked the wrong Busch.
Well, I'm glad that one of your bets finally paid off.
I had a decent week.
That's
I
good.
Had a couple
we
parlays.
have actually won a couple of times.
The NASCAR account is doing well for me. Okay.
Good.
You know
the IndyCar, not so much.
Don't want to talk about that one.
Yeah, so that's the first win for 2311 Racing. Denny was really pumped afterwards. Toyota in general was really pumped because they had all their cars in the top 10,
which is very good for them.
Including 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which is insane considering who was it? Truex was down a lap at one point.
Yeah, they had a good week.
Bubba finished 10th to round out the Toyota group, but like,
nice.
What else can you ask for other than someone swapping Bubba up to 2 to replace Kyle Larson and just taking the clean sweep 1 through 6?
Well, that's asking a lot there. So
that is
just be happy with what you got.
Mm-hmm.
The Toyotas were quick, and it was a entertaining ending as well, with Larson and Busch going door to door.
I saw the Larson save.
Larson. Oh yes, sorry. You're thinking way back from where I am.
Yeah.
But Larson took the high lane and Busch gave him a car width plus an inch, and Larson touched the wall. Kept it going though, which is pretty good considering that was the other big thing with Kansas. A lot of tire issues for teams.
Like losing them on pit lane again, or just tires going down?
There's a mix. I think Truex had a tire go down. Elliott had a tire go down. Both at the left rear, I believe. Eric Jones had a really odd one where the lug nut wouldn't come out, and they tried with the air gun. They tried it with a straight bar, just would not move. Finally, ended up having to cut away a bunch of body work, and I think they jacked it up, took a hammer to it, and then it finally came out.
Nice.
There's another loose wheel in the pit lane that went off of Eric Jones's hood, I believe.
That's always safe.
Tires were an issue this race, but that was good ending.
Fair enough.
Half decent race.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that. I just saw the clips on Twitter. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. I started watching highlights. Like, I actually started watching highlights.
Yeah, that's good for
and
you.
And then, like I said, I'm doing better.
So instead, I was going to say, for our next topic to talk about, because I feel like we don't really have much to really add for Kansas, we can go from talking highlights to talking lowlights. And Charles Leclerc driving around Monaco is the most cursed thing in all of motorsports. Is it not?
Yeah. Like, when you talk about unlucky, that's like the unluckiest thing in the world.
It's bad.
It's very bad. Like, it's like more than bad. It's like embarrassing bad. And he knew it too.
Like, he didn't even do anything wrong.
Yeah.
The brakes failed.
The brakes, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's like the nature of the cars from back then, right? Like, that's part of the problem. Like, that's why they were so unsafe. Like, things failed all the time on those things. Like, even when he was driving, was it Villeneuve's car? Yeah, it was Villeneuve's car. He was talking about how it was so hard for him to control the back end. So
yeah, they're
just
definitely
super unlucky.
Different machines back then.
Mm-hmm.
I like how people were complaining of like, oh, it's Lauda's iconic Ferrari being wrecked. And I'm like, well, Lauda's iconic Ferrari is iconic for being wrecked. One. Kind
True.
of fitting.
Yeah.
Two,
he didn't drive it into the wall himself.
I mean, those cars are actually pretty cheap to repair because it's just metal. You could just bend it and make new things a lot easier than like the carbon fiber shit nowadays.
It's quite
NASCAR-esque.
Yeah, it's quite literally a tin can, basically.
No, yeah, exactly.
The reason it's worth so much is because of the name that they have painted on the side.
Yeah.
If that doesn't get damaged, you don't have to replace it. Replacing a rear wing, suspension, that stuff, that's easy in those cars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to find the thing. I saw it earlier where someone has a list of all of Leclerc's bad luck at Monaco.
Yeah.
I know where this is.
Do you?
Yeah, I know who put it up.
Well,
it was WTF1 that had it up.
Yep, it was 2017 F2 feature race, suspension failure. 2017 F2 sprint race, electrical failure. 2018 F1 race, brake failure. 2019 F1 quali, strategy fail.
That's just Ferrari.
2019, Ferrari being Ferrari. 2019 F1 race, collision damage. 2021 quali, crashed. 2021 race, drive shaft. 2022 historic demo run, brake failure.
I am not betting on Leclerc in Monaco.
No.
You really should not.
So now is the one time he will do well.
I was gonna say, I was like, or maybe you should, because maybe the odds would be good with all his bad luck.
His odds this year for F1 are pretty decent all around. So
yeah,
I just wouldn't bet for him, because I feel like if his odds are decent and he usually wrecks out, take Sainz, take Verstappen, take someone else.
Yeah, that's fair.
Take whoever has the 1 lap pace in practice.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's a general rule without whether you're talking about Leclerc's bad luck or not. So,
but yeah, that was kind of funny. It was a good little chuckle on the weekend of just the extra Leclerc bad luck. But yeah, so we have one last thing to get to, which is something that I want your opinions on. Unless you have something else to add to the Leclerc thing, Steven.
No, it was F1 adjacent, but we can always look at it.
What was it? Fuck it, go for it.
One, there was the random report that Latifi was all of a sudden out.
Oh yeah, that was so weird.
Yeah.
And then back in.
Yeah.
But then it was also announced earlier today that Nick DeVries is going to be doing a practice run this weekend in Barcelona during FP1.
Whose spot is he taking?
He's taking Albon's.
So it's almost like a direct comparison between the two.
Yeah. Let's. So Latifi's not out yet, but where there's smoke, there's fire. So
his seat is very hot. I will definitely get.
Yeah. But we've been saying that, like, did we not comment about that last week too? We talked about Latifi's future at Williams and whether or not we see him being there. Like, I think a lot of people are questioning whether or not Latifi will be there, and so yeah, maybe there probably is fire to that. But like the whole report of like them dropping Latifi not even halfway through the season, like that didn't make any sense to me, and I was like, that feels stupid. But like it's where did he get his information, and then like just tweeting it out, I feel is kind of irresponsible, because it would suck for like,
oh my god, imagine
the driver, reaction. Right?
Yeah,
he's like, am I being fired?
Hard to say. But yeah, sometimes in journalism, people that are trying to be first, usually it's not always the best, especially when you're wrong. If you're first and wrong, you look like an asshole. Right. Yeah. But so yeah, we'll see what happens.
If it ends
with
up I was gonna say, if it ends up Latifi does get canned by summer break, okay, so you know what, he wasn't completely wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
There was probably someone leaked him information that ended up being true.
Yeah, or it's like, oh, he's going to be, but not right now. You know, like maybe I was say, like, maybe this DeVries thing is kind of get him acclimatized to the car, get him a little more used to it, to then have him step in later on in a few race time.
Yeah.
Or next year, because he does still have his Formula E contract. So,
rip.
Yeah, and that would be the case.
But like, I feel like a lot of contracts have F1 clauses, right? Like, if I am offered a job in F1, I can void the contract and go here.
Yeah,
but there's also the financial side with Williams. So,
yeah,
if they can afford the, I don't know if it'd be a lawsuit or whatever, it'd be the replacement fee.
Maybe money's not coming to them. Maybe that's why they want to get rid of him. Something like that.
Yep.
It's hard to say.
The financial backing. They've got what was it? Duracell was one of the new backers this year.
Yeah.
So.
But.
Yeah, and then there was also the and I mean, there's always the thing of I can't remember which journalist said it, where they were like, yeah, just for fun, we're going to start a rumor. And then they started a rumor about a driver, and then that driver ended up being out by the end of the year based off that rumor starting.
I don't recall this.
I'll have to go back and I'll go back and find the story. It was a very interesting read.
Okay,
but,
then.
You know, I feel like that happens in all sports. You know, someone just says something, and then someone's like, you know what? That's not a bad idea. Or
just kind of plant the seed.
I didn't realize this was possible. Let's look into this a little more, and then something materializes. But I'll go back and find the story.
Fair enough. So last thing I wanted to ask you guys about and get your opinion on was the FormulaE controversy for this weekend.
Which was?
So, to recap, FormulaE qualifying is basically 2 groups go, top 4 in each group, then compete in a 1v1 shootout to whoever wins advances to the next bracket, and that's to set your grid from first all the way down to 8th of that time. In one of the duels, as they call it in FormulaE, Vern and Sims posted the exact same time. So, in motorsports, what happens when people post the exact same time?
How many milliseconds can you go down to?
It's only the first 3. That's general rule.
Yeah.
So
okay.
So they post the exact same time, and because Sims put the time in first, he advances. Because that's how motorsports is. If you put the same time, whoever puts this time first moves ahead.
Right.
But Sims had to go first because Vern set the fastest time in the previous session, therefore giving him the advantage to go second.
Okay.
What do you think of this situation where Vern, in theory, never had a chance?
That's, I guess, a bit of an oversight, but I guess you're also counting on 2 drivers not going the exact same time down to 3 decimal places.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, but it's an oversight in the fact that, yeah, it could happen. Will it? Yeah, probably not. We don't need to worry about that. Let's worry about it later. We have an out clause.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those situations where it's like it's so extremely unlikely for them to post like the exact same time down to like the 3rd millisecond that maybe like it's just not well thought out.
I agree it wasn't well thought out of it happening, but it's happened. What should they keep the rule that whoever sets the time first moves on, or should, if you set the same time, it reverts back to then your previous time? Basically, who do you think should have moved on? Sims, who set it first, or Vern, who set it second?
I like the count back more.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't. I like whoever set it first moves on.
Yeah, well,
I think either way, like, it doesn't matter which way you go, somebody's going to be unhappy, and there's always going to be people on the other side who don't like it.
Yep.
Right? Like, no matter which way you go, because it's just a tough spot to be in.
In theory, going first is a disadvantage because there's one less runner on the track. So if you set the time, the guy after you has the advantage. So if he sets the time that's the same, you, because you did it when the track was in a worse condition, are the faster car. So I think if you set it first, you should move on.
Okay.
I don't disagree with you there, but in a format where you are prohibiting or you are forcing someone to go later because they did better in the previous round. If this is F1, 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
You had an opportunity to go sooner. You should have. Just gone sooner. But in a format that bars you from being able to go sooner, that's where I have a bit of a bone to pick.
Then should the person who gets the advantage, who sets the faster time in the previous session, should they be able to pick if they go first or second?
Yes, that would be good.
Yeah, I think that would be a solution to an unlikely event happening, but at least it would. I feel like it would give a choice and therefore like kind of put it on the driver as to like whether or not it would have mattered or not. You know what I mean? Like if you chose to go second, that was your choice. If you chose to go first, that was your choice.
Like one thing we haven't seen in this session is any kind of changeable weather, right? That can be an advantage going forward, and maybe that's the tweak that should be made. Is you get the option.
Yeah.
And again, like where I'm deciding to nitpick, this is very specific because this is the only series that does this really. So, like, it could happen in IndyCar technically, I guess.
I mean, it happens it happened in F1 in '97 when the top three all set the same time.
Yeah, but that's a situation where they could have all gone at whenever they wanted, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And the guy who said it first.
Whoever said,
yeah,
exactly. So you still could exert some form of control over when you set that time. Here, Vern had literally no control, and it's because he did better he did better on a worse track before that. So
you think Vern should have? He should have got through because he was faster previously.
For this situation, yes, I would have done it on a countback.
Okay.
But again, my overall thought is yes, whoever sets it first. But if you're going to bar someone from going first and just say, no, you have no choice. You have to go second.
Okay. Well, I still think you say it first. You say it first because you had the disadvantage.
Yeah. No, but again, it's if you have a choice, yes, then yeah, you can't complain.
But in theory, going second, because you were faster, you went second because that's the advantage. Right?
Kind of. Again, but okay.
So I think it's a very interesting debate to have because people can be on either side for this really rare event in motorsports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, based off the rules, I think they made the right call.
Fair enough.
And it's the right call going forward. The right call going forward is give them an option on whether they want to go first or second. One, because that's just more fun. It's sort of like how with like ball and stick sports. Oh yeah, whoever's the higher seeded team going into the playoffs, they get to pick their opponent.
No one does that. But yeah,
I don't need the advantage to beat you. You can go second. I will beat you.
What if that's the next step for this FormulaE duels thing? Is the fastest driver gets to pick who they're against?
That would be good.
That'd be kind of fun.
And that would be fun.
Yeah, you know what? That would be. Okay. NASCAR should look at doing that because then they could be even more like football. Flip a coin. All right, you called in the air. All right, it's tails. You get to pick who you face. Guy that you're facing, you get to pick if you go first or second.
That'd be a great freaking qualifying format. I would watch that.
NASCAR, listen to this and take notes.
That would take hours.
It would.
But that'd be entertaining.
No, but after the first one, you could do the coin flip in between when the second guy's doing his outlap. You can get the next round set up, and they don't have to be in the they don't have to be outside the car. They'd be sitting in the car, waiting for the second round, and then after that, you can just slowly get more and more into the field. So that way, you can do the coin flip head to head. Guys get in their cars, and then they're sitting for 2 rounds, waiting.
I love this idea. This should be implemented in more motorsports. This sounds fun.
Get rid of stages, and you're good, NASCAR.
Agreed.
You know what?
Problem solved.
Agreed.
We should run that.
I think I would watch that NASCAR. I would watch that NASCAR.
Damn playoff format.
Mm-hmm.
Now Steven's asking too much. Okay, let's settle down there. We can't get everything.
One of 3.
Just get one. I'll take the getting rid of stages. That's my number 1.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I just gave you 3 ideas. You're welcome.
Yeah, it's like that thing you were saying. Just put the seed out there, Maybe it'll take. Someone gets this idea.
You never know.
Someone will listen to this random obscure racing podcast and be like, you know what? These people have an idea. It's a terrible idea. Let's try it. The NASCAR way.
Yes.
Anyway. Okay, so to wrap up the show, We are going into now the next 2 weeks, Indy 500.
Woo!
Cars hit the track tomorrow, or today, based on when this comes out. What do you think, or who do you think are drivers that you should be watching for this year that could have a good run, that might not? People that could have interesting stories behind them. We'll say maybe pick three drivers of the 33. Nice works. Who you think who to basically watch out for this year, either through speed weeks, through qualifying, and through the race. The cat decides to interrupt me.
Our fourth member. Tooth, who's your pick? You know what you should do? That's what you should do. You should put temptations over pictures of the drivers and let him pick.
Oh my god, yes. Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that before the race.
Yes.
He will. Okay. He will try to eat both. So make sure you put them far apart.
Oh no, I'm gonna get maybe a big thing with 33 numbers on it, all the drivers, and just put basically one in each and see what he goes for.
See what he goes for, and then film it, and then Steven make a TikTok.
I think this is a plan. We will do this. Okay.
Yep.
Good brainstorming.
Amazing.
Team. So anyway, 3 drivers we're looking for this year at Indy. Who would like to go first?
And I've got the odds up, so I can tell you.
Okay, I can go first. Oh, it disappeared.
Okay.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so the 3 that I have chosen. So first, I chose Marcus Ericsson. What happened?
Nothing.
This fucking cat! I'm trying to throw him off the desk, and he keeps hopping back up. I'm gonna kick him out of the room. Go ahead, Taylor.
Also, I was laughing because Sean was like, "This mother." Okay.
Oh, he's just decided. Okay, so first, my choice is Marcus Ericsson. I know he's kind of a little bit, probably a risky choice, but I think that I know he was 4th this past race, and he's been consistently in the top 10 the past few races, since the start of the season. So I think he might have a good run. You kind of never know with him. Sometimes he, he's in the back but sometimes he just has a really great drive, and you never know, he could win. But I think he's one to watch. I think he could do pretty well in the field. At least I hope. I like him, so I hope he does well.
That's not a bad guy to watch. I wouldn't.
Nope. So
he's not the favorite, I think, out of Ganassi, but
no, he is.
Yeah,
and he's the 15th ranked driver based on odds right now. But he did do well at last year's. He finished 11th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the one, as of last year, we had 2 oval races in Texas to grab oval data off of. This year, we only have the 1, and in that one showing, he came 3rd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
5 years ago, he came 3rd in that expelled 375.
Yeah, I don't think that's terrible. That's a terrible one at all, Taylor.
Thank you. My second one is Calamylot. In terms of who to watch, I think this can either go one of 2 ways for him.
I agree with this completely.
So either he's going to continue with his strong driving from last week and continue that and just kind of come out and just really show us what he's got in terms of the talent that he has for IndyCar, or is just going to go balls to the wall and be a big failure. It'll be a disaster or it'll be great.
I agree with the ILOT pick. That was going to be one of mine if neither of you picked him. I was going to say, he's been getting faster and faster, it seems, every single week. Mm-hmm. With enough time at Indy, I wonder how he can do. And it's a small team, That's an interesting pick.
It'd be good odds, too, because he's the 30th ranked driver, only ahead of J.R. Hildebrand and Sage Garum.
I already put a bet on him.
Shocker.
Right. Sorry, Callum, you're not winning this year's Indy Fest.
I have a bet on 8 guys right now, okay?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so my third choice is Alex Palou. He's probably a safe choice. But I think, he almost won last year. came down to the last few laps for him. But yeah, I mean, hopefully he'll come out, maybe have a little bit of a redemption race in terms of the 500. But I don't know. I think Palou is always one to watch because you never really know like where he's gonna be. But I guess my hope for him is that he has a good race. But yeah, he was my third choice. Probably a safe choice, but
He is a very safe choice. He's tied for first with 3 other drivers at plus 800.
Damn.
yeah, that's what I kind of thought.
So good pick there. Also, former series or last year's series champion. So
Yeah.
not a bad pick.
Stephen?
Actually, where did he finish? Sorry, I'm just looking up where he finished second last year. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He finished
safe
8th
pick.
last year.
Are
8th?
you sure about that? Alex Palou.
Oh, Palou. No, shoot. Yeah, he was second. Sorry.
Yeah.
The other person I was looking at was 8th. My bad. That's a hint for
Doesn't
who I
even
was-
start.
That's a hint
Doesn't
who I
even
was
start
doing.
with a. I say doesn't even start with a P.
Shush.
Way to go. Okay. Do you want to go or do you want me to go? Do you want to alternate? Want to alternate?
Yeah, well, we can alternate then. Yeah, go with that.
All right. You want to go first?
Sure. I'll go with the guy.
Just go with the guy you were just talking about.
Rinus VK.
Okay.
Have to go with him. Ed Carpenter cars are always fast. He has looked decent before at Indy. Top 10 before, wrecked out before. He's a guy I think that can do well. I believe he can. He has shown speed in the past at other speedways. Like Texas, he was 10th, 9th last year. So he is a guy that I think could surprise people, and his odds are also pretty decent. He is a plus 2,800. So, Steve, what's that in the total list?
That is oh god. Where is it? 15, 16, 17th.
Yeah. So
I
with an Ed Carpenter car, 17th ranked odds, I think that's a no-brainer for a guy to look at for this race.
He was front row last year, right? He was third.
Yep. Yeah,
and he was also one of the first. Speaking of the track evolution argument, he was one of the first ones out, I think, of the Fast 9.
Yeah.
Or like of that 3.
Yes.
Number 3. So
he is quick.
It's a good pick. He will go fast. Just hope he doesn't crash like testing last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's got it figured out. Okay. Who do I want to go for my first pick? I'll go for a bit of an easy one. In Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Debut showed really well in his first oval in Texas earlier this year. He was 8th, right? 6th, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
6th.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited to see what he can do. He's got lots of oval experience, and he knows how to drive an oval. Don't know if you guys know this. He's a multi-time NASCAR champion, and they drive a lot of ovals. So
really, wow, who knew?
Yeah. So he came 6th at one oval in an IndyCar. So I'd say he feels relatively comfortable. How he'll handle Indianapolis could be a bit of a question mark, but again, he's got lots of experience. I'd say after a year of doing part-time, he's got to feel a little more comfortable. I think he's been doing some testing as well. So he's a rookie, but at the same time, not really. So I'm excited to see what he can do. Bit of a longer shot. They've got him at 3,300, which puts him 19th on the grid.
Okay.
But for a guy who has technically never driven the Indy 500, it's not bad. He knows that the race is not won in the first corner. So
exactly.
Yeah.
For my next one, I have Sage Karam.
Ooh.
Okay, interesting.
29th ranked guy at plus 1,200.
Sage Karam is always a guy who is fast around here. He sometimes has bad luck, but in the past, he has historically had good speed around the speedway. Like, I'm looking at a bunch of guys this year who I think can make a surprise run. Like VK is one, Sage Karam would be another. I'm just pulling up his stats right now to see like where he's finished the last few years. 7th last year with this exact same team. 24th before with a crash. 19th with a crash. He's a checkers and wreckers kind of guy. I will say that. He's wrecked a few times, but he's always a front runner.
Yeah.
So
that's a good choice.
Yeah. His 2 best finishes at Indy is 9th in his rookie year. He has 6 wrecks in between there, and then he finished 7th last year. So
okay.
He's a fast guy with a team that basically is built around him. I would not be surprised if Sage Karam is fighting there at the end.
I like that pick.
That's a surprising one, eh?
It'd be a good. That's a good longer shot, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'll go with another one that's a bit of a longer shot.
If you pick my third, I'm gonna kick you in the freaking face.
I don't know if you are, but
okay.
I'll be able to know your reaction when I say this, because he's the local boy, Connor Daly.
Yep. I hate you. Oh, that was my final.
You guys
one.
are the same.
Come on. He's in an Ed Carpenter car, so we don't need to go over that all over again.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He does well at this track. He's another guy who hasn't had the luck. Like, he finished your 13th here last year.
What happened last year?
Oh,
he hit Rahaal's tire.
Yeah. Yes.
He was one of the fastest guys, and I think led the most laps, hit Rahaal's tire.
He had 40 laps led last year, and that is the most.
I've already put $5 on him.
Nice. Yeah. And most importantly, Sean, this guy's sponsored by Air Force. What movie comes out on the 27th?
Top Gun.
Exactly. He's got the good juju going into it.
Yeah, you got a point there.
He's got the power of Tom Cruise.
Oh my gosh, that's not a power you want.
It's the power of the tooth right underneath your nose.
He's gonna go.
We're not talking about Tom Cruise.
Okay.
He's gonna come in on his cool down lap and do some diplomatic negotiation. No, I'm thinking Star Wars.
Yeah, that's not how that goes.
Oh no.
No,
okay.
it's we were communicating. Keeping up diplomatic relations.
Yes.
How are you communicating? The bird. Oh, I'm sorry. Harry does that.
I got halfway into it and then went into, what do you call this? Aggressive negotiations.
Yeah.
You guys are nerds.
Yes, we are nerds. That's why we love
figuring that out.
Okay. Okay, so because you
he's
stole.
Down sorry, he's down there at plus 5,000. So longer odds for
a guy who
should
be fast.
Who should be more a favorite, not the favorite, but I'd say having him in the bottom half is slightly disrespectful. Put some respect on his name.
I agree 100%, and that's why I have him. I had him as a guy, but fine. Since you took my third, I'll go for my 4th pick, Castro Neves.
Oh, shocker!
Oh,
the four-time champion, the guy who won it last. Shocker!
For a repeat?
The drive for 5 with Meyer Shank. He's going to be quick. So,
I like it. I think it's a good choice.
That's a storyline to follow for the month. If he's competitive, if he has a chance to actually be the first person to get 5, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep, and I'm surprised he's not a favorite. Like, he isn't even in the top 5.
Yep.
He's 8th,
which
is not bad. Plus 1,600.
Okay, I got odds boost for plus 2,000.
Yes, so did I.
Okay.
So
we've already bet on him?
Yeah. Why? He's a 4-time champion. How do you not?
Honestly, yeah.
Especially when you're getting 400 points on your odds. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Sure, I'll take it. Like, come on. I'd be stupid not to.
Steven, your last one?
But yeah, not a bad pick. My last pick is going to be the other guy Sean would pick. No. I had it just a second ago. Oh. Graham Rahal. He had a half-decent showing until, his tire came flying off last year. He was sort of the same, where he was running well. And he's another guy that always seems to get hyped up a little bit around this time, but hasn't done anything. Led 8 laps last year before his tire came off. Only got just over halfway through the race. But another guy where if things go the right way, I think he could be in contention at the end.
Fair enough.
Not bad.
I want to include this last one as a shot in the dark, but to also say I've said it. Steven, who is the longest shots odds to win?
Is that Dalton Kellett, really?
I put a $1 bet on Dalton Kellett to win.
Okay.
The reason why, one, the Kentucky Derby has taught me just take the long shots at $1. Fuck it, honestly.
Yeah.
True.
But he is going into that race, and Dalton Kellett's a smart guy. He is. He's like one of the smartest guys on the IndyCar grid. You know who else is a really smart guy on the IndyCar grid? J.R. Hildebrand. If you cannot put those two guys together and figure out how to make a car go fast, something's wrong. Plus, you have Kyle Kirkwood also. AJ Foyt has really struggled, I think, in the road courses with speed. They're genuinely decent on ovals. So if anyone is going to surprise you in this race, I put the $1 bet on Dalton Kellett because fuck it. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, JR's been okay. Hasn't done as well the last couple of years, but he's done okay. I always just get shocked whenever you Google him because you get the first picture that comes up is a clean shaven, short haired
young
J.R. Hildebrand from 2013,
yeah.
And then you look at his current picture where it's just much more caveman-esque. It's a very funny contrast. Because at first I was like, that doesn't look like him at all. Oh, no, that looks much more like him. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, we're what? 2-1 this week's qualifying, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we get the conclusion of the month of May, or this is May. Lots of bets to sort out. $1 on everybody.
Honestly, it's not a terrible idea. I think so. $33.
It is. It is a horrible.
What's the worst odds? The best odds, like plus 500.
You have to hope that Jimmy Johnson or lower wins.
Then you put $1 on everyone, Jimmy Johnson and lower.
There you go.
There we go.
That's all you need to do. Any long shot hits. I'll be honest. I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 bets for the 500.
Of course you do.
I mean, some are favorites, some are not, but you kind of spread them out because
the
Indy 500 will be a shit show, and we'll see through this week, and we'll talk about qualifying next week. Mm-hmm. You're going to be surprised somewhere. Someone is going to surprise you.
Yeah, there's not going to be a bump, but
everyone's guaranteed to make it. But it just depends, and you know some guys will probably not. Something will happen, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Andretti used to be the favorites. I feel like Andretti's kind of fallen out in their 500 pace, but you know. So I'm interested to see what happens. We may look back at this in 2 weeks' time and be like, "Wow, you're an idiot," which I totally expect.
How did we not mention Scott McLaughlin?
How did you not mention Scott Dixon, you dumbasses?
Yeah. He's only one of the 4 favorites, along with another guy you didn't mention in Joseph Newgarden, who is right next to another guy you didn't mention in Colton Herta.
Yeah, I know. Like, there's so many to pick from.
There's so many, but whatever. We could only pick 3.
Picking 3 each of guys who we think that would be fun stories to watch.
You know what? You know what we can do next week? We can already do a preemptive. Here's where we fucked up. Let's get our next 3 picks in after qualifying. How about that?
I think that's a good idea.
Sure. Great idea.
We'll go with that.
Good job, David Malukas, on getting pole. How the fuck?
Where's the odds? Where's the odds? I don't have an addiction. I don't know what you're talking about.
No.
So anyway, is that all we have for this week?
Yes, I believe so.
I need to go feed my gambling addiction and make some not smart choices. And yeah, that is all we have for this week. So thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. And yeah, we will talk everything that's happened then. We got some Spain. We got qualifying.
500 qualifying.
And yeah, whatever else happens. So thank you for listening and goodbye.
Thanks for listening to Spare Parts. Remember to follow the show on Twitter at sparepartspod and the hosts at Stephen Clary, at Sean Cavarella, and at Tate Moore.